This episode of Beyond the Backyard is brought to you by Ultimate Archery and Outdoors, Ultimate Deer Products, Head to Tracks Incorporated, Red Life Food Plot Seed Company, Tacticam, Jay's Sporting Goods, and by Oz Cut Broadheads. Welcome back to Beyond the Backyard, Michigan's headquarters for hunting and fishing and everything outdoors. I'm your host, Steve Kretovic, and today we're going to be diving deep into a brand new bill that just dropped in the Michigan House of Representatives, House Bill 5093. And folks, this one's going to be important for you. We're talking about the future of Michigan's fisheries, our hatcheries, and the ability to run unlimited rods while trolling the Great Lakes. Yeah, that's right, unlimited rods. And every troller's dream has come true. But it's just not about catching more fish. It's about saving the very system that makes those fish possible. So grab your coffee, your bait caster, and maybe one lucky lure, and let's get into this podcast. All right, let's start with the basics. HB 5093 was introduced to restructure Michigan's fishing licenses. But before you roll your eyes thinking, great, another price hike, hang on, this bill actually does make sense. So here's the big headline. HB 5093 creates $5 hatchery stamp that anglers could buy when fishing for species stocked by the DNR. Salmon, trout, walleye. In exchange, you can run unlimited rods while trolling the Great Lakes from a boat. So if you've ever wanted to run a full spread like the pros without worrying about a limit on rods, this is your moment. But also, it's your way to directly support the Michigan's hatcheries. That's $5 goes straight into keeping our fisheries alive. Now let's talk about why this is needed. The DNR's Fisheries Division hasn't seen an increase in funding since 2014. Inflation's gone up, fuel costs are crazy, everything's more expensive, but the Fisheries Division budget has flatlined. And because they legally required to balance the books, they've had to cut personnel, research, and field offices, even basic maintenance on hatcheries and boats. And get this, back in 2013, 80% of all fishing license money went straight to the fishing programs. But in 2014, they lowered all the species license from $28 to $26. Suddenly, only 55% went to the fisheries. The other 45% got redirected to other parts of the DNR. That's like taking half the money from the fishing jar and using it to buy bird seed. And remember the senior discount that dropped the senior license to $11? That was supposed to be backfilled by the state's general fund, but that $3 million a year never showed up. That's $30 million lost over the last decade. So now the Fisheries Division is in a budget hole without action. We're talking cuts to stocking, research, hatchery programs that directly affect the fish that we all chase. This bill didn't just pop out of nowhere. It came from anglers like us. A coalition of fishing stakeholders, charters captains, sport fishing clubs, everyday anglers got together back in January of 2025 to come up with a real solution. Groups like Michigan Charter Boat Association, Great Lakes Salmon Initiative, Detroit Steelheaders, Ludington Charter Boat Association, and a ton more all had a hand in shaping this. This wasn't just a Lansing desk job. This was boots on the ground, boots on the dock type of stuff. Let's dig into what we're actually getting from this bill. Number one, stronger hatcheries and more fish. So that $5 hatchery stamp that we'll be buying will help increase production. We're talking 1 million more walleye for inland lakes, 25,000 more muskies, and more inland trout stocking sites. That's more fish, more opportunities, and more reasons to hit the water for people here in the great state of Michigan. Number two, we're getting better research. The DNR will be able to survey more lakes and rivers, some of which probably hasn't been studied in years, and that means more stocking plans, better stocking plans, smarter regulations, and more sustainable fishing for all of us. Number three, we're going to have more youth opportunities. The bill introduces a $5 youth license, but only for kids keeping fish on the Great Lakes or after the age of 12 inland. Catch and release continues to be free for kids. And here's the cool part. The DNR gets an extra $10 per youth license through the federal Dingo Johnson funding. Now this one, number four, is huge. The oversight and transparency. The bill sets up a fisheries oversight committee. It'll be made up of charter captains, guides, inland anglers, and everyday citizens. Their job is make sure every dollar that is collected is used responsibly and any future fee increases are justified by the state. So no more mystery about where your money goes from your license. Number five is conservation and control. It funds things like Arctic grayling and sturgeon restoration, ramps up cormorant control, cutting bird predation on fish by over 500,000 pounds a year. And that's not just good management, that's a game-changing thing for our fish populations. Fishing in Michigan isn't just a hobby. It's a $4 billion industry. Thousands of small businesses rely on it. marinas, bait shops, motels, guides, gas stations, restaurants, and so on. If you've ever walked into a small diner or gas station up north, you've seen walls covered in fish photos. And that right there is Michigan's fish economy at work. This bill doesn't just support the DNR, it supports us. Because if the hatcheries fail and stocking gets cut, those small town gas stations and stores up north and anglers all lose because of it. So here's where you come in. House Bill 5093 needs your support. That means you need to contact your state representative, your senator, tell them that you support HB 5093 and the hatchery stamp. If you tell them that you want your fishing license dollars going back into the fisheries, this isn't politics, folks. This is common sense. A small, reasonable investment on your part that's going to keep our lakes full of fish and our kids fishing for generations to come. Share this episode. Share the GLSI post. Share the link wherever you can. The more anglers who speak up, the better our chances are of getting this thing passed. Our lakes are our responsibility. Now, I know out there as anglers, we see it every day. We're actually on the water. We're seeing the good and bad of our mismanagement in the state when it comes to the fish, but we have to step up and do our part too. It takes us coming together, and if a $5 stamp is going to be a solution to helping fund them to make our fisheries better, then by all means, let's do it. So, all right, folks, that's going to wrap up today's episode of Beyond the Backyard. House Bill 5093 might not sound flashy, but this is the kind of behind-the-scenes stuff that decides the future of fishing in Michigan. $5, less than a lure, less than a six-pack, well, maybe not these days, but it just can't be any easier to save our fisheries. If $5 will save our fisheries, I will hand them $5 every single year. So let's rally together, anglers, charter captains, weekend warriors, and the kids learning to cast for the first time. Make sure Michigan's waters stay the best in the Midwest. As always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that sub button, hit that notification bell. You don't want to miss an episode. Make sure you head on over to Michigan Outdoor Obsession on TikTok, over on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, get outside, stay obsessed, and I'll see you beyond the backyard.